had added some flexibility moves into my dance.
God, she's changed.
That was amazing. That was amazing. And we're going to talk about it because what? Okay, so first we're going to get into what does Ring Around the Rosies mean? What does Ring Around the Rosies mean? Because we heard it growing up. We sung it growing up, and then eventually we learned that it was about these kids that burned in a fire. So it's like we was singing this song because we liked it, and come to find out it had some type of meaning about the song. Or, yeah. So, Ring Around the Rosies mean. So it says, Ring Around the Rosies is a popular children's nursery rhyme and singing game, wildly rumored to symbolize the 1665 Great Plague of London. It involves children joining hands and circling and falling down. Key phrases: rosy, rash, posies to mask smell, ashes, cremation, falling, are thought to represent plague symptoms and death. Ring around a rosy. Okay, so it symbolized the ring-shaped rash. The ring-shaped rash, wasn't that like called worms? I think that's what it was called, worms. Wow. Many folklorists argue the plague connection is a modern myth, and that the rhyme likely originated in the late 18th, 19th century as an innocent game. Early versions sometimes involve courtesy and kissing rather than falling down. Wow. So I feel like this video, like there's always a meaning and a purpose behind every artist. Even if it's a dancer, singer, painter, there's always a meaning in everything that they do. So this child just reminded me of like a ghost of those children. A spirit of those children led this message. You know, and that's how I feel. That's how I actually feel. Like this child was led by a message given from the ancestors to deliver how they actually felt, to bring back, to remind them of what happened back then. You know, all of these kids that died, Ring Around the Rosies, you know, that's a song in most of scary movies, but it's also a meaning. It's holding on to that event that occurred back then, you know. So I feel like that's what this message delivered. She delivered it perfectly. And it was amazing. That was amazing. You know, it's just something, it gives you something to think about. It gives you something to really just sit and ponder in your mind what that actually means. Think about all those kids that died, all those people that died of that, what was it, like a disease, or they were victims and they died of the plague. You know, I don't know exactly what happened. It says, Ring Around the Rosies, a red circle rash, a symbol of the plague. A pocket full of posies, flowers or herbs carried to mask the stench of disease and ward of affection. Ashes, ashes, representing the plague progression to a fatal state. We all fall down a high death rate and victims dying. And then they have they actually have a video about it as well. So yeah, that was very, very interesting. And that's something that I felt like I need to share, because that was a message. And that was something that definitely needs to be taken into consideration as you are watching as you watch that video. You know, it's sad. It's really, really sad, but it was creative. That message spoke value. It spoke a lot of value. And it was amazing. She was amazing. So yeah, with that being said, that's all I want to talk about. Talk to y'all next time. Like, comment, subscribe. You know, if I share, don't forget to share.
The old children saying, ring around the rosies, well, you know, it has a really dark meaning. It refers back to the London plague of 1665. The ring of the rosies was the rash that developed on people's skin. The posies were what was needed to keep their noses from smelling the stench of all of the dead bodies. So ring around the rosies, pocket full of posies, ashes, ashes, we all fall down. Really dark, really dreary. Auntie Bev speaks. Hey, Auntie Bev here.